position in our ballroom dances. So we're going to start by talking about the different points of contact. So when we come into dance position, he's going to go ahead and he's going to offer his left hand. I'm going to accept with my right hand now. First thing you got to pay attention to is where the fingers go. So my 4 long fingers are going to go between his thumb and his index finger. Yeah. From there, we're going to go ahead and wrap our fingers around each other. And then our thumbs, depending on your personal preference, we can have them lined up side by side, or we can have them crossed. Some people have very strong opinions about that. Do whichever one feels good to you, right? So that's our clasp here. At this point, he's going to invite me to come close to him. The next point of contact is going to be his hand on my shoulder blade, his right hand on my left shoulder blade. Okay, now I want you to notice that it's really on my shoulder blade. It's not down by my waist. This is not a great point of contact. This is just creepy if you don't know each other, so don't do that. So make sure on the shoulder blade. This is going to be your best point of communication. All right, now from here then, the final point of connection is going to be my left hand. I'm going to drop my left hand right under this muscle here. Yeah, so I'm going to keep the thumb more or less in front. The rest of the fingers are going to wrap around behind. This is not an immutable law. If I'm very, very, very short, for example, my partner's very, very, very tall, it might be a little lower on the arm. It's just the opposite, right? And he's very, very short and I'm very tall with long arms, I can take the hand a little bit higher up. Again, it just depends on how you fit together if you're dancing socially. If we're dancing competitively, this is a little bit more set in stone and we really do have to adhere to these rules. Yeah, so this is our points of contact. The next thing to bear in mind with our dance position is how we are aligned to one another. So if you've never done this before, it might feel natural to you to actually be nose to nose, yeah? In some dances, we are in fact in that alignment, but for our ballroom dances, we are not. So what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna line us up over here so you can get a better sense. Rather than being absolutely directly in front of my partner, I'm actually gonna be a little bit offset to my left. So as a point of reference, if I think about a line cutting down through his nose down to his sternum, I am gonna stay on this side of his body. That side of his body is irrelevant to me. Likewise, of my body, right, if I take a line all the way down from my nose down to the middle part of my body, it is the right half of my body that I'm aligning to the right half of his body, yeah? So we end up lined up like this, okay? What this does a few things. A, it gives him an opportunity to see where he's going, right, because ballroom dancing travels quite a bit, right, so he's got to be very aware of what's going on the floor. The other thing that this does is that this changes the alignment of our feet, right? So basically now there's a little bit more room for our legs to track between one another. So if our legs track more or less straight forward, what's going to happen is that if we take a forward walk on his left foot, this right foot is supposed to go between my feet, right? And if we're nose to nose, we're just a little more, it's just a little bit tougher to, really aim and make sure that I'm not getting feet. Versus if he aims basically underneath my nose, there's no foot underneath my nose, yeah? So we need to make sure we have our right to right alignment, and that's gonna assist us when we do our forward walks, particularly that right foot forward for the lead, or as we're going backwards, when I do a right foot forward as the follow, okay? So I don't have to worry about stepping on his feet, I just need to keep that alignment. We're both responsible for that alignment, but as the follow, I really feel a lot of that responsibility is mine, because I feel that it's much easier for me to put myself to the left than for him to have to be pushing me to the left, yeah? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make sure that I am aligned at all times. Again, another way to kind of tell if I'm to the right, if into the right alignment, is I have my little window here as well, right? So I can kind of look around me as I'm dancing, yes? So that alignment, very, very, very important. The last thing I want to talk about is I want to touch upon the differences between dancing in body contact and dancing with a little more space. So if you are dancing competitively, right, you're going to see, if you see videos of like competitive dancers, right, you'll notice that they're actually in what's called body contact, right? So the position is very, very laid out for the follow, and there's actual contact between the right fronts of the body, so there's no space between the two, yeah? A couple points about that is that if you are doing that, make sure that you're not actually jamming into each other. This is not really a comfortable way to dance, right? You're just, think of it more as clothing contact, right? And again, the way I am laid out is very, very particular. So if you are just starting as a beginner, I would not recommend even trying any of this, yeah? Because you can give yourself all kind of back problems and neck problems if you're doing the position incorrectly, yeah? Additionally, dancing in body contact requires really perfect timing to one another and really, really perfect posture. So I would just stay away from that. So what I am going to do, as I'm learning, I am going to think about keeping my posture picked up straight, right? Again, for the moment, let's start with just pedestrian good posture, right? If you have, when your parents, as you were a kid, probably were telling you to stand up straight, just do that for now, right? So I'm going to stand up straight. I'm going to be in the right alignment to my partner, and I'm going to take my dance position. I'm going to go ahead and leave this space. It's going to be a little bit easier for me to focus on my steps and following and leading for him if I don't have to worry about knocking into him every 2 seconds, yeah? So from this position then, I need to make sure that we have tone in our arms, right? So that by tone, I mean you're going to have some tension in the muscles so that you're not quite so pliable, right? So something that'll easily demonstrate this, right? If I have my hand on his chest and he walks forward into my space and I have no tone, I simply absorb, right? And all of a sudden he's in my space and this is not where we want to be. So I need to have enough tone in my muscles so that when he walks forward, I have to move because I'm not allowing my arm to bend as he comes forward towards me, right? So now we're just gonna do the same concept in our dance position, right? So he's gonna really make sure to hold me. So when he walks forward, he's also not just gonna loosen up his arms, right? He's going to keep them nice and toned. So as he walks forward, I can feel where he's going through the palms of my hand and this fleshy part of my left hand, right? And then when he walks backwards, I can feel with my fingers, right? And he pulls me along, right? That he's going backwards, right? So a good exercise to do would be to take your dance position and just walk around your living room, right? So we take our dance position, he's just gonna go ahead and walk. In this case, he'll walk forward. I need to wait for him to go somewhere, right? Because I don't necessarily know what step he's going to do next. So if I just basically hang on, he hangs on, just start walking around. Don't worry about doing dance steps, just go ahead and go wherever you want. So he's just gonna walk wherever he feels like it. He's gonna curve, he's gonna move backwards, he's gonna do whatever he wants. Side steps, vary it up, right? Try to make sure that you can start to be comfortable with different types of actions from foot to foot. And the more you keep that tone, that frame toned, you'll be able to execute more figures and things like that together. So use that, practice that, and then apply those concepts to all of your dances in the ballroom dances. And there you have it. There's some tips on your dance position.